I'm DJ Wolbert. This is Recall.
We're back for episode 3. And once again, you know we got Mr. 187 Genocide facing off against a newcomer in recent years in DJ Wolbert. And they are going head to head at XCW Devastation. Let's see who wins this one.
Alright, so this match is from XCW Devastation 2019. And you are going one-on-one with then Mr. 187 Genocide. You had the opportunity to work quite a bit with Genocide throughout the years. Is there anything, certain that you want to say up front about your time working alongside Genocide?
I always felt like we had good chemistry, me and Benji. This one, Devastation alone, was a good one. I really liked mine and his match back in 2018 at Greed. It was a Canadian Lumberjack match that we had. I really enjoyed that. Every match that we've had, I've had a good time.
And this is probably the first time that you've really watched this match back since it happened. Is there anything specific that you can remember from this time frame, this era in XCW?
So it was basically proving my worth to get to the international title, because I know there was I had to skip through some things with Kelty. He wasn't there, and then so I had to face Genocide, and then something else came up, and I had to wrestle Genocide again, and then it was somebody.
And then you did end up going against JJ Kelty at Halloween Havoc that year, I believe, for the international title.
Yep.
And here he comes. Here's Genocide. So carry me through. You've worked with Genocide quite a few times. What was planning a match like with Benji? Did you guys have to really plan a lot of the things that you did in the ring, or did you guys just have a good enough flow that you could get through the match easily?
Right. It was in between, because he knew a lot about wrestling and the history of wrestling that he's done, but then also on top of that, we've wrestled each other numerous times, so that was kind of also a factor. So we did have some talking, but then again, we didn't, because we knew what we were doing, because we had good chemistry together, and we knew the spots that we had planned out for the match, but we basically just went with the flow in the ring, because we both knew kind of what we were doing in our move sets.
So do you remember the first time that you had the opportunity to get in the ring and wrestle with Benji?
Yes, it was in it was in 2018. I know I was in a tag match in 2017.
And that would have been a time that you were maybe alongside Vapor, Brandon Hobbs, Jesse Justice, part of Lake Evil, and you would have been, I guess, up against maybe Fletch and Genocide as limited edition at the time.
Yes,
I think
that happened at SummerMania.
Had a build to SummerMania.
Yep.
We did the story where I had gotten hurt in the match, and then that's where Psycor came in, and then that's where Psycor really started to get back in the ring more often.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's one thing right there that Genocide's doing in the ring is chain wrestling, and he does more of a ground style. Do you enjoy that type of style in the ring? I know that a lot of people in XCW don't do that, And some people have their opinions on chain wrestling and stuff and keeping it slow. What's your thoughts on it?
You know, I do like it personally because I feel like everybody shouldn't have the same style, or wrestling would just be, it would be the same stuff. It would be the same, like it wouldn't be anything different. People having a different style always makes wrestling better and it makes it different. So I enjoyed his type of wrestling because there had to have been some chain wrestlers in XCW throughout some point. If there was none, it would be like, what's the point?
I agree with that. And what would have been the latest match that you would have had with Genocide? Maybe around this time?
Yes, it was. It was,
because you missed for a majority of 2020.
yeah.
You would have returned in 2021. You worked most of the year with Fletch.
I know it was either this one or it was the one, it was me, him, and I believe it was Void. We were in a triple threat match, and the winner of that went to Halloween Havoc to face Kelty for the title. But then another thing came up too, to where like I had to like earn my spot again. So it was either this one or the one after that.
I believe this is the go-home show to Halloween Havoc.
Okay, then yeah.
So this
yeah.
would have been the last show prior to, and you would go on to beat JJ Kelty for the International, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So out of the people that you've worked with in XCW, and you've worked with pretty much everybody,
Yep.
where do you rank Benji in that?
I've always said this, even when he was alive. I've always said this, that I think he's like one of the top guys I enjoy just because of
His knowledge is unreal.
It is, yeah. And he knew, like, he watched the content, so he knew what was going on and what, like, our move sets and everything else. So it was like we didn't have to just go in there and like,
and luckily
be like
for
a new student.
You have a type of move set where it doesn't really require you to do a lot of, power moves, a lot of lifting moves. So you weren't really stuck not doing certain things. Like you could pretty much work anything that you wanted with him in the ring.
Yeah, like I could do anything. Yeah.
It's like I always told people in the ring, like there's every time I worked him, it felt like a night off because it was just so easy and he's just so knowledgeable. And he had a slower pace just because of his size, and a lot of times that played into, it's a little easier when you can go in there and take your time. And he knew how to pick you apart, though.
Yeah, he did. And his size didn't take away from anything that he could do.
So is there any particular thing that you can remember in your time working with him where maybe he was a little extra snug? He has been known, especially with his chops and punches and stuff, being a little more snug than some. So
I know I've gotten hit with a forearm one time.
Was it his forearm chop combo?
No, it wasn't.
No?
I think he was on his knees and getting ready to get up and got me with the forearm. And I know one time he chopped me, and then after that.
Speaking of forearms.
Yeah. After that, he got the lumberjack badge that we had. He got the belt and did it over my chest. That felt good.
Irish whip. Just for the head scissors, nice. And, for his size and his type of wrestling, you don't see him taking head scissors from many guys.
No.
So it's pretty cool that he gave you that opportunity.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And you got the best ref in the biz right there, Aaron.
Aaron, yes. 100.
So do you remember, so you started in XCW in April of 2017. Do you remember really the first conversation that you had with Genocide?
I know Glory. Something about that, I didn't really see him until later on in the day.
Yeah, 'cause he was in a ladder match that very first show.
Originally he was supposed to retire, and then after he came back.
I just know that a lot of guys have said before that he kind of took them under their wing when they first came in.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does help, and he has knowledge when it comes to wrestling. So getting advice from him is
better
than.
I know Chris Jones was probably one of your biggest mentors starting out. Maybe not in later years, but I know that you guys kind of hit it off right off the bat. I just didn't know how much that you had conversations with Benji otherwise.
Yeah,
there's the acid slam to near fall. Is there any match that you've had with him throughout the years that really stood out as a favorite? Or
honestly, I think our match from Greed back in 2018, the Canadian Lumberjack, I think that one just stood out. Just the whole entire thing, because I know after the match, like, Genocide was happy with the way it turned out, and I just thought altogether it was good.
There we go, graveyard condition. I think that might be it here. And it is. In closing on this, you got to relive this match for probably the first time in a few years.
Definitely, yeah.
What do you think?
I was really happy with that match, the way it turned out. But in fact, I have watched this before that. I've watched it earlier this year. I know for a fact I have. But I really enjoyed mine and his chemistry, like I said. There definitely won't be another Genocide. I loved everything that we did together, and I had the privilege of working this with him and wrestling him at the biggest show of the year, Summer Mania, back in 2018, and everything else we had. But I really do appreciate his time, and that meant a lot for all of this. It's a big win.
What a hell of a match between DJ Wolbert and Genocide. We're still going along, our tribute to our fallen brother. Next up, we have a very special one. It's none other than Genocide versus Matt Chincho.